This is her story, narrated by the one who was always there, from the first breath to the last, not as a villain, but as an inevitable consequence. Before pain, before sin, before the first tear, she did not exist. But it only took one choice for the silence of Eden to be broken, and death awakened.
In the vastness of Eden, among perfect trees and endless rivers, in the midst of perfect life, I was an impossible whisper. I was only silence. No being knew me, and I did not exist. Not even time could touch me. There was only life. Animals lived in harmony. Man and woman walked together through paradise. At the center of the garden, two trees. One shone with a living gold, the tree of life. The other bore deep red fruit, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. At a certain moment, a strange presence on the branches. It slithered silently, with eyes full of envy and greed. The serpent appeared. It carried doubt, and with smooth words it sowed the impossible in the woman's heart, and the lie shattered the purity of paradise, the sound of choice. A bite, it destroyed what was eternal. Where once there was only life, now came the absence of it. I was not created. I was awakened. I appeared like a crack between what was and what could have been, a shadow wandering between worlds. Many years passed. Outside of paradise, I felt a call. I felt I had to seek something that belonged to me. My first harvest was silent. I saw the first sun with a look of despair and fury. In his hand, a stone stained with blood. Beneath him, the body of his younger brother, the warm soil, soaked in blood. That was the first life I took. And since then, I never stopped.
Therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man, and death through sin, so also death was passed on to all men, because all sinned.
I walked the earth in silence. Through wars, plagues, disease, murder, and old age, I harvested souls from lifeless bodies. I saw kings fall and mothers lose their children. I was called the Reaper, a curse. But I have always been just a consequence, never the cause. I was the dark mirror of human choice. But one man among mortals drew my attention differently. Something in him affected me, intimidated me. It was the first time I felt that divine presence. I knew the cycle. The body gave in, the soul departed. I took it, but one day something strange happened. A fragile girl, lifeless in bed. She already belonged to me. But he entered, held her hand, and commanded, and the girl breathed. I was forced to retreat. Then, a young man, the only son of a widow, already wrapped in linen, on the way to the tomb. The mother's cry echoed, but I had already taken him. He appeared. He simply touched the body. Another soul I had taken returned to life. I was defeated again. Elsewhere, the flesh had already begun to decay. And still, he commanded existence itself. That man came back to life, as if he had never belonged to me. 3 times I was forced to return what I had taken. 3 times he pulled the impossible from me, and I began to understand he had not come just to live. He came to confront me. In that moment, I understood he did not fear me. He knew me. I stepped back and kept collecting souls around the world, until atop a hill across, that man bled on his head, a crown of thorns. The sky turned dark. The air was twisted. Something was not right. I felt all that power, that divinity, something I had never felt before. This was no ordinary soul. It was the greatest and heaviest I had ever taken. 3 days later, his tomb was empty. Light invaded my domain, and I was defeated again, wounded by a glory I cannot reach. He returned and showed that he has total control over me, because the time of justice had not yet come. I realized he was the Lamb, the Son of God himself, Jesus Christ. But the world still bleeds. I had a job souls to collect. Even defeated, I still walk the earth. And the world is full of hatred and sin, countless souls to gather over the centuries, fulfilling my dark duty.
I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by sword, famine, plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth.
The end of this world is already written, and my role in that end was inevitable. The four seals were broken. I rose and began to exist differently in that world. I joined the other three horsemen of the apocalypse. I upon the pale horse, and with me the weight of the ages. The four horsemen swept across the world, bringing divine justice. We began the time of tribulation and judgment. The final march, God is in control, and we came to witness Christ's victory. But even I shall end, for before the throne every knee shall bow, even mine, and then I will be cast into oblivion.
Then Death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire.
At the final breath of time, my fate was revealed. I was thrown into the lake of fire, and all whose names were not found written in the book of life were thrown into it too. I am death. I was not created. I was awakened. And even I bow before the Lamb.
Did you enjoy this content? Don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of the next biblical themes that will make you reflect. This video is not intended to disrespect anyone's faith or alter the biblical story. Our aim is to present a study based on different historical perspectives, exploring events through new lenses. Receive this content with an open mind and mutual respect.